Family, the pressure that we continue to see happening in Mozambique is causing quite a lot of talk with many politicians, many prominent people of the world, organizations, human rights activists are standing up and talking about the situation of Mozambique. What ZANU-PF and Frelimo have done in Mozambique is quite embarrassing. ZANU-PF and Frelimo have destroyed Sadc while the ANC ululates. This is exactly what Maimane is saying. Maimane is saying that the people of these so-called liberation parties and their behavior is what has destroyed Sadc. And ANC seems to be endorsing everything that is done by these rogue parties. And ANC also, unfortunately, like what we have always been saying, they encourage people of other countries to do things that they themselves don't do to their own people in South Africa. I don't know why. ANC loves it when ZANU-PF or Frelimo kill people in their lands, when they arrest people, when they abduct people, when they are corrupt and they steal, they do all the dirty stuff that they do. You find that they are supported by the ANC of Ramaphosa. And one ceases to understand why it is like this. And of course, some of the reasons are the reasons that we have also been unveiling in this season, where we've been talking about South Africa, ANC, Ramaphosa also milking the gas and the electricity from Mozambique, and they are paying a quarter. They are paying a quarter of the real value that they are supposed to pay for those commodities, and yet Mozambican people are paying 3 to 4 times. And this is quite unfortunate. And the same thing also happens with our situation in Zimbabwe. We know that these guys own properties in Zimbabwe, some mines, some farms, some are running businesses and things like that. And this is why they are seeing Southern Africa as just a play field for their businesses. It's not sovereign countries or something like that. It's just play field for the politicians. They can be crossing over into any country and making money from there. And that is why they don't want to see any opposition party that comes to power. As for South Africa, really, ANC, when they lost power, they agreed to join hands with the other opposition parties. And yet they don't want such things to happen in other countries. They continue, to hoodwink Frelimo into thinking that they can hold on to power and fight the people, shoot the people and kill people, refuse to join hands with the opposition party, especially the one that is following or the one that is supposedly the winner of the elections of Mozambique. So it's very sad. So Maimane has written actually commenting on Ramaphosa having traveled to Mozambique, and he says here, Frelimo and ZANU-PF have destroyed the Sadc region, but the ANC keeps enabling them by endorsing illegitimate election outcomes through attending the inaugurations of these leaders. South Africa pays the price as immigration escalates due to humanitarian and economic crisis in Mozambique and Zimbabwe. And this is very true. And you will never hear the politicians, especially of the ANC, talking about the problem of immigration and equating it to the situation that is in Mozambique and in Zimbabwe, that the politics there is bad and the economies are bad, all because of ZANU-PF and Frelimo. Because it's their guys, it's their friends. They would rather blame Zimbabwean people than blame ZANU-PF. And that is quite very unfortunate and sad for these leaders. And like we always say, these are leaders that are going to go down into history as one of those very poor leaders that South Africa has ever had. It is very unfortunate that one of these fine days, ZANU-PF will be out of power, Mnangagwa will be out of power, and anyone who is enabling them today will find that these guys will have lost everything. And that time is coming. And as we continue to pray and believe God for this season of change, we are believing strongly that our God is going to free his people in this season. And we are praying for all strongholds that are enabling these liberation parties to break down, to go down, and to be dismantled. Then we can only begin to experience freedom in these countries. Right now, as we speak, South Africa has suffered grossly because of some of the corruption that we've seen happening within ANC. We see the same thing happening in Namibia, where SWAPO is running Namibia exactly the same way as ZANU PF. These guys look like they are so good at exchanging notes. And of late, Frelimo is now behaving more rogue than ZANU PF itself. They are doing things that they've never done in the past. Yes, they've rigged elections in the past, but the way of their behavior this time around is an indicator that somebody is coaching them. And that can be none other than Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the problem of Zimbabwe. And our prayers, family, are that God must set Zimbabwe free. Our prayers are that God must fulfill his word over the nation of Zimbabwe. This is the time that we must all stand up to fight the good fight of faith, to make sure that our country receives liberty, to make sure that ZANU PF must take responsibility for all the wrongs that they've done against the Zimbabwean people, and must just do the honorable thing of moving out. And this is going to be happening because our time has come. Everything is about time. Time changes all things. Time is a tester. The hands of time are in the control of the Almighty, and there is no one who is going to be changing that. So let's continue to stand, family, and be in prayers for these nations that are seeking to get help, especially when it comes to the issues of politics, democracy, rule of law, constitutionalism, and stuff like that. Because these are the very same thing that are hated by these liberation parties. Once they follow the procedures of democracy and the constitution and rule of law, they know that they can't last even a single day in the office. They can't last. They would rather hold the nation at ransom as long as they continue in power. But are they going to continue holding on forever and ever? Never. Our time has come. Their days are numbered. And we are walking tick-tock towards the freedom of Zimbabwe. So family, let's never tire. Let's not give up. We need to continue standing in the gap and making sure that we intercede, we pray, we give a declarative word over the nation of Zimbabwe, and we will see the move of God. Already we are seeing the move of God through what is happening in ZANU PF. Every day there is something new that is happening in ZANU PF, which indicates that they are weaker and weaker by the day. And our time is coming, and God is in it.